Dear students, we will now learn the lesson polynomials. In this lesson, we will be learning what a polynomial is, what are the different types of polynomials, and also we will be learning what are called as the remainder theorem and the factor theorem. We will further learn a lot of identities of algebraic expressions. Now let us understand what a polynomial is. So in earlier classes, we have learnt about algebraic expressions. What is an algebraic expression? Now let us consider, for example, 3x square plus 5x plus 6. Now you can see that this is an algebraic expression. Now this is an algebraic expression. So now what does this algebraic expression have? So you can see that this is a combination of 3x square added to 5x and then added to 6. Now these three separate expressions, that is 3x square, 5x and 6, are called as the terms of the algebraic expression. And if you consider 3x square, you can see that x square has been associated with the number 3, or x square has been multiplied with the number 3, and this 3 is called as the coefficient of x square. Now if you take 5x, you can see that 5 is the coefficient of x, and if you take 6, it is nothing but the constant term. So an algebraic expression has been divided into three terms. This particular algebraic expression has three terms, and these terms have coefficients attached to each of these. So if you take 3x square, the coefficient is 3. If you take 5x, the coefficient is 5, and 6 is called as the constant term. So you can see that 3 and 5 are coefficients. And these are some things which you have already learnt in your earlier classes. Now consider an expression like 3y minus 5x. Now how many terms are there? There are two terms. And what are the terms? You can see that 3y is a term, and this has been added to the term minus 5x. So there are two terms. One is 3y and the other is minus 5x. Now what are the coefficients? What is the coefficient of y? It is nothing but 3, and the coefficient of x is nothing but minus 5. So the coefficients are 3 and minus 5. So when you write the coefficient, you have to check that you are also including the sign which is associated with each of these terms. So you can see that 5x as a term has a negative sign associated. Therefore, the coefficient of x in this case is minus 5. The coefficient of y is nothing but 3. So we learnt about terms and the coefficients. Now let's learn what a polynomial is. A polynomial is a kind of algebraic expression. So when you have an algebraic expression which satisfies some rules, then it is called as a polynomial. Say for example, you have 3x plus 5. Now, so this is a polynomial because the power of x is 1. Suppose you take an expression like 5x square plus 7x minus 6. Then this is also a polynomial. Now, consider an expression like 3xy minus y square minus x square. Now, this is also a polynomial. So, now these are all polynomials. These are also algebraic expressions. Then what is very specific about a polynomial? So, there are certain kind of algebraic expressions which will not be told as a polynomial. Say for example, if you have x plus root x. Now this is not a polynomial because this is equal to x plus, can you write root x as x to the power half? So the square root of x can be written as x raised to the power 1 by 2. Cube root of x can be written as x raised to the power 1 by 3. Fifth root of x can be written as x raised to the power 1 by 5 and so on. So here you can see that it is square root of x, which can be written as x raised to the power 1 by 2. Now this x has been raised to the power 1 by 2. So the power to which x is raised is a fraction. So such expressions will not be part of a polynomial. So since the expression has the term root x, that is x raised to the power half, it is not part of a polynomial. This expression is not a polynomial. Now let us find out if there is any other type of algebraic expression which is not going to be a polynomial. Now we are going to see another example which is an algebraic expression but not a polynomial. So consider 5x square plus 1 by x square. So this is equal to 5x square plus this 1 by x square can be written as x to the power minus 2 because we have a to the power minus m is equal to 1 by a to the power m. So if it is 1 by a to the power m, it can be written as a to the power minus m. So that's a rule of exponents. Therefore 1 by x square can be written as x to the power minus 2. And look at the power to which x is raised. This is a negative number. So if the variable is raised to a negative power, then also you say that the given expression is not a polynomial. So this is an example of an expression which is not a polynomial. Let us see a few examples and find out which of those examples are polynomials and which are not. Now look at the algebraic expressions that are given on the left hand side. You are supposed to answer yes or no if it is a polynomial accordingly. So you can see that the first expression has minus 7 by 2x plus 8 by 3x square minus root 5 by 4x cube. Now we are supposed to check only the powers of x and not the coefficients. So the coefficients can have numbers like root 5 by 4. It can have fractions like 8 by 3. It can have fractions like minus 7 by 2 which is negative. All this is allowed. But the power to which the variable is raised. What is the variable here? The variable here is x. The power to which the variable is raised must not be a negative number or a fraction. So you can see that in all the three terms, the power to which x has been raised is a whole number. So here the power to which x is raised is 1, here it is 2 and here it is 3. So all of these are whole numbers. Therefore this is a polynomial. So let's write a yes for this. Now look at the next expression. It is x raised to the power 7 by 2 plus square root of 7 by 2. We are not bothered about the constant. The constant can be a number like root of 7 by 2. But look at the power to which x is raised. X has been raised to 7 by 2. Therefore, this violates the rule of being a polynomial. Therefore, this is not a polynomial. So, the answer is no. Now, look at this expression. It is 1 by x square plus x square. Now, is this a polynomial? We have got to write this in a way which is different from this in order to make out whether it is a polynomial or not. Now, can I write 1 by x square as x raised to the power minus 2 and then this as plus x square? So you can see that the power to which x is raised in this case is negative, which means that this is not a polynomial. So the answer here also is no. Now look at this expression. It is root 11 into y plus y cube minus 57. The first term is root 11 multiplied by y and y has been raised to the power 1. Here the power of y is 3 and here you do not have the variable y at all. And you can see that the power to which y has been raised is all whole numbers. Therefore, this expression is a polynomial. Now look at this expression. You can obviously say that this is a polynomial because the power to which the variable in the expression has been raised is a whole number. So here it is 2, here it is 3, and here it is 1, and so this is a polynomial. So these are indeed polynomials. So there are 3 polynomials and there are 2 examples which have been given which are not part of polynomials. In the next session, we will be learning about the types of polynomials. Now let us see the classification or the different types of polynomials. Polynomials can be broadly classified into 3 categories depending on the number of variables, and the second classification is depending on the number of terms, and the third classification is depending on the degree of the polynomial. Depending upon the degree of the polynomial. So you can see that there are 3 major classifications. One, depending upon the number of variables. The second is depending upon the number of terms. And the third, depending upon the degree of the polynomial. Let's understand about each of these types in this session. So the first is depending upon the number of variables. Now consider this example, 3x plus 5. Now, which is a variable here? X is a variable. And do you see any other variable? No. So, if there are variables, then they have to be all alphabets like X, Y, Z, etc. And here you can see that X is the only variable. So, this is a polynomial in one variable. So, it is a one variable polynomial. Consider minus 18x square y plus 12. Now, how many variables do you find? You find the variable x and the variable y. Therefore, this is a polynomial in 2 variables. So, it is a 2 variable polynomial. So, or it is a polynomial in 2 variables. Consider xyz plus x square yz plus x square y square z square. You can see that there are 3 variables x, y and z. So since there are 3 variables, this is a polynomial with 3 variables. So it is a 3 variable polynomial or a polynomial with 3 variables. So that's one kind of a classification. Now let us consider this example, 3x square. Now is this a polynomial? Does it satisfy the rules of the polynomial? Yes, it does. So the power to which x is raised to is a whole number. Therefore, this is a polynomial. How many terms does this polynomial have? This polynomial have just one term, and such a polynomial with just one term is called as a monomial. So a polynomial with just one term is called a monomial. Consider 3x square minus 8x. Now is this a polynomial? Yes, because the power to which x is raised to is whole number. So here it is 2 and here it is 1. Therefore, this is a polynomial. And how many terms does this polynomial have? This polynomial has 2 terms, which is 3x square and minus 8x. So there are 2 terms. So such a polynomial is called a binomial. So a polynomial with just two terms is called as a binomial. Consider again, is this a polynomial? Yes, this is a polynomial with variable y, and the power to which the variable y has been raised to is all positive. It is also, they are all whole numbers. Therefore, there are three terms which you can see, which are y cube, y square and 1. Therefore, this polynomial is called a trinomial. So, if the number of terms of a polynomial is 1, then you say that it is a monomial. If there are two terms, then it is called as a binomial. And if there are three terms, it is called as a trinomial. Now, take for example the number 5. Is this a polynomial? Let us find out. This 5 can be written as 5 multiplied by 1. And this can further be written as 5 multiplied by x to the power 0. What is x to the power 0? It is equal to 1. Okay, so 5 into 1 can be written as 5 into x to the power 0. Therefore, the power to which x has been raised to is a whole number, because 0 is a whole number. Therefore, this is a polynomial. So, if you just take 5, it is a polynomial, and there is a special name given to this polynomial. This is called a constant polynomial. So, any constant standing alone as a monomial is a constant polynomial. Now, consider 0. Again, is this a polynomial? Yes, like as we wrote for 5, this can be written as 0 multiplied by 1, and this can be written as 0 multiplied by x to the power 0, since x to the power 0 is 1. And so, yes, this is a polynomial, and there is a special name that is given to this polynomial. It is called as 0 polynomial. So, as standalone monomials, 5, 8, 7, 6, 3, minus 2, minus 1, etc. are called as constant polynomials, and 0 has a special name. It is called as a 0 polynomial. Thus, we have learnt that depending upon the number of terms, a polynomial can be classified into three types: monomial, binomial and trinomial. Monomial will have just one term, binomial has two terms, and trinomial has three terms. And all of these monomials, trinomials, binomials are classified under the broad category called as polynomials. Yes, a monomial is a polynomial. Binomial and trinomials are also polynomials, but these are specific names or special names that are given to polynomials with one term, two terms and three terms respectively. So it's a trinomial with three terms. And we saw that there is a constant polynomial, and we also saw that what is called as a zero polynomial. Next, we are going to learn about the degree of a polynomial. The degree of this polynomial is 9. So that's about the degree of a polynomial. Let us now understand what is the degree of a polynomial, because we need to understand the classification of a polynomial depending upon its degree. So before that, we need to understand what the degree of a polynomial is. Consider this example: 8x cube plus 5y plus 8. So we have 8x cube plus 5y plus 8. Now how many variables does this polynomial have? This polynomial has two variables, one is x and the other is y. Now, which is the variable which is raised to the highest power? So you can see that x is the variable that is raised to the power 3, whereas y has been raised to the power 1. So the highest power to which the variable is raised is called as the degree of the polynomial. So in this case, x is the variable and it has been raised to the highest power, which is 3, because 3 is greater than 1. Therefore, the degree of this polynomial is 3. Consider another example. 8u square minus 15. Here you can see that u is a variable and has been raised to the power 2, and this is the highest power in this expression. Therefore, the degree is 2. Consider 15t power 5 minus 18t to the power 6 plus t to the power 100. Now here you can see that the variable is t and the highest power to which t is raised among all these three terms is t to the power 100, that is 100. Therefore, the degree of this polynomial is 100. Now consider 8x square y square plus 15x. Here you can see that there are two variables x and y, and x has been raised to the power 2 and y has been raised to the power 2, and this is a single term. So the degree of this expression or this polynomial will be 2 plus 2, which is 4. So here the degree is 4. So if the variables are going to occur together, then you have got to add up the degrees of individual variables. Let's see another example. 2x square y plus 3y cube plus 15xy cube. Let us find out the degrees of the individual terms. What is the degree of this term? It is nothing but 2 plus y raised to the power 1. So 2 plus 1 is 3. That is the degree of this term. Here you can see that the degree of this term is also 3. Here you can see that degree of x is 1, degree of y is 3. Therefore, the total degree here is 4. Now, which among 3, 3, 4 is the greatest? It is 4. Therefore, the degree of this polynomial expression or this polynomial is 4. Now, let us consider another example. Xz the whole cube plus zy square the whole cube. We are supposed to find the degree of this polynomial. Here you can see that this can be written as x cube z cube plus this can be written as z cube multiplied by y square the whole cube, or this is equal to x cube z cube plus z cube, and you know that y square the whole cube is nothing but y square into y square into y square, which is nothing but y raised to the power 6. Now what is the combined degree of each of these terms? The degree of this term is 3 plus 3, which is 6, and the degree of this term is 3 plus 6, which is 9. Therefore, as a polynomial, the degree of this polynomial is 9. So that's about the degree of a polynomial. Next, we are going to learn about the types of polynomials depending upon the degree. Now consider (4x minus 7). Now what is the degree of this polynomial? You can see that the highest power to which x is raised is 1. Therefore, the degree of the polynomial is 1. So the degree is 1. Such polynomials whose degree is equal to 1 are called as linear polynomials. So what are linear polynomials? Those polynomials with degree equal to 1 are called as linear polynomials. Next, consider 14x square minus 6x plus 3. Here, what is the highest power of the variable x? It is nothing but 2. Therefore, the degree of this polynomial is 2. Such polynomials are called as quadratic polynomials. So, what are quadratic polynomials? Those polynomials with the highest degree equal to 2 is called as quadratic polynomial. So, what will be the next kind of degree? 3. So, consider x cube minus 5x square plus 3x plus 9. So, you can see that the degree of the polynomial is 3. Such polynomials whose degree is 3 are called as cubic polynomials. And you can also see that all the examples that are listed are polynomials of single variable. So all of these have the variable x. So this polynomial 4x minus 7 whose degree is 1 is called as a linear polynomial. This polynomial whose degree is 2 is called a quadratic polynomial. This polynomial whose degree is 3 is called as cubic polynomial. Therefore, a polynomial can be divided into 3 types depending upon the degree of the polynomial. One is linear polynomial, the second is quadratic polynomial whose degree is 2, and the third is cubic polynomial. Next, let us understand how to represent polynomials. Suppose you have a polynomial in a single variable, say x. Such single variable polynomials can be represented as f of x. This is read as f of x, or it can be represented as g of x, or it can be represented as r of x, etc. So f of x means it's a polynomial in a single variable x. G of x means it's a polynomial in a single variable x. Similarly, r of x also means that it is a polynomial in single variable x. Similarly, if you take f of y, g of y, r of y, etc., these stand for polynomials of single variable, and in this case, this variable is y. So, if you represent a polynomial as f of y, it means that it is a polynomial in a single variable y, say for example of the kind 3y square minus 11. Sometimes g of y can be y minus 5 and so on. So, if you say f of y, g of y, r of y are polynomials, then it means that these are polynomials in a single variable y. So, this is how you will represent polynomials. Suppose if you have two variables x and y, which is a polynomial, you will represent it as f of xy. And what is f of xy? You can take some examples like xy plus 5. This is a polynomial in two variables x as well as y. So similarly, you can write f of y comma z. This is a polynomial in two variables y and z. Say for example, you can have y plus z plus 18. So these are examples of polynomials in two variables. So this is the way we will be representing polynomials. Now we saw about the degree of different kinds of polynomials. Now we need to understand what are the degrees of zero polynomial and constant polynomial. Now what is a zero polynomial? Let us consider f of x is equal to 0. So f of x is the polynomial, which is a zero polynomial. Now what is the degree of zero polynomial? The degree of zero polynomial is not defined. So for a zero polynomial, you cannot define any degree. So given f of x is equal to 0, which is a zero polynomial, its degree is not defined. Suppose if you have a constant polynomial f of x equal to 5. Now this can be written as 5 into x to the power 0. Therefore the degree is 0. So degree of constant polynomial is 0. So we have seen two things here, that the degree of a 0 polynomial is not defined. So for a 0 polynomial, the degree is not defined. This you might get in problems involving just 1 mark. Now, what is the degree of a constant polynomial? Degree of constant polynomial is always 0. Now let's do a few problems in polynomials. Which of the following expressions are polynomials in one variable and which are not? State reasons for your answer. So the first question that is given is y square plus root 2, and we are supposed to check if this algebraic expression is a polynomial or not. You can see that this expression has the variable y, and y has been raised to a whole number. Therefore, this is a polynomial. So this is a polynomial. And we are also supposed to say if it is a polynomial in one variable or not. Yes, this is a polynomial in one variable because the only variable that is involved here is y. So this is a polynomial in one variable. And the only variable here is y. On to the second one, we have y plus 2 by y. Now this can be written as y plus 2 multiplied by 1 by y. Now this can further be written as y plus 2 multiplied by y raised to the power minus 1, because 1 by y can be written as y raised to the power minus 1. So you can see that y has been raised to a negative power. Therefore, this is not a polynomial since y has been raised to negative power. So this is not a polynomial. So since y has been raised to a negative power, you can say that this is not at all a polynomial. So this is not a polynomial. So even though there is only one variable y, you can see that this is not even a polynomial in order to classify this as a polynomial in one variable. Now on to the third one. You have 3 multiplied by root t plus t multiplied by root 3. So this is equal to 3 multiplied by t to the power half, because square root of t can be written as t to the power half plus t multiplied by root 3. You can see that the variable t here has been raised to a fractional power. Therefore, this expression is also not a polynomial. So this is not a polynomial. Therefore, you cannot classify this as a polynomial in one variable, even though there is only one variable t that is involved. So this is not a polynomial. The last question, you can very obviously see the answer. The expression is x to the power 10 plus y square plus z cube. And here you can see that the variables are x, y and z. There are 3 variables. Therefore, this is, even though this is a polynomial expression, this is not a polynomial in one variable, whereas it's a polynomial in 3 variables. So since there are 3 variables, x, y and z, x, y and z, this is not a single variable polynomial. It's a polynomial, but it is not a polynomial in just one variable. It is a polynomial in 3 variables. So here we have the next question. Write the coefficients of each term of the following polynomials. So the first polynomial that is given is 3x square minus 5x. So what are the terms of this polynomial? The terms are 3x square and minus 5x. So therefore you can see that the coefficient of x square is 3 and the coefficient of x is minus 5. So 3 is the coefficient of x square. And minus 5 is the coefficient of x. So let us find out the coefficients of each of these terms. 5x cube minus 18x square minus x plus 1. So what is the coefficient of x cube? The coefficient of x cube is 5. What is the coefficient of x square? The coefficient of x square is minus 18. Make sure that you will tell the coefficient along with the sign associated with the term. So the coefficient of x square is minus 18. What is the coefficient of x? The coefficient of x is minus 1 because it is minus x, which means that it is nothing but minus 1 multiplied by x. Therefore, the coefficient of x is minus 1. And 1 is the constant term. Now on to the next question. So there are two terms, 13x and minus 17y. So 13 is the coefficient of x and minus 17 is the coefficient of y. So coefficient of x is 13 and coefficient of y is minus 17. So here we have the next question. Classify the following as linear, quadratic and cubic polynomials. The first polynomial that is given is x minus x square minus x cube. Which is the highest power of the variable? The variable associated here is x, and you can see that the power of x here is 1, the power of x here is 2 and the power of x here is 3. Therefore, which is the highest power? It is nothing but 3. So if it's the highest power, which is 3, then what kind of a polynomial is this? This polynomial is nothing but a cubic polynomial. Now on to the next one. You have t minus 5. Which is the variable here? The variable here is t. This is a polynomial in a single variable t, and t has been raised to the power 1, and here 5 is t power 0. So 5 into t to the power 0. Therefore here the degree is 1, which implies that it is a linear polynomial. Here the highest power to which the variable u has been raised is 2. Therefore it is a quadratic polynomial. Now here if you see, you have root 2 into y plus root 5. The only variable here is y, and y has been raised to the power 1, and this is the highest power to which y is raised. Therefore this polynomial is a linear polynomial. So here you can obviously see that the power to which y is raised is highest and it is equal to 3. Therefore this polynomial is a cubic polynomial. And the next one obviously is a quadratic polynomial because the highest power to which the variable x has been raised is 2, and so this is a quadratic polynomial. The next topic that we are going to learn is polynomial values for different values of the variable. Let us consider a polynomial which is p of x is equal to x square plus 2x plus 3. Now suppose we want to find out the value of this polynomial p of x at x is equal to 1. Which means wherever you find x in this polynomial p of x, you have to replace by 1. Therefore, on the left hand side, you will be having p of 1, and that will be equal to, you have a x square here, therefore you will replace it by 1 square plus 2 times, it's 2 into x, therefore it is 2 times 1 plus 3. So this is equal to 1 plus 2 plus 3, which is nothing but 6. So p of 1 is 6. Supposing we want to find out the value of p of 0. What is p of 0? Wherever you have x, you have to replace by 0. Therefore, you will be getting 0 square plus 2 into 0 plus 3. And what is this? This is equal to 0 plus 0 plus 3. So P of 0 is 3. Therefore, P of 1 and P of 0 are the values of the polynomial x square plus 2x plus 3 at x is equal to 1 and at x is equal to 0. So these are the values of the polynomial for different values of x. And here in this case we have taken x as 1 and here in this case we have taken x as 0. So this is at x is equal to 0. Now let us find out P of minus 1. What is P of minus 1? It is nothing but minus 1 the whole square plus 2 into minus 1 plus 3, and that is going to give you 1 minus 2 plus 3, which is nothing but minus 1 plus 3, and that is equal to 2. So P of minus 1 is equal to 2. Therefore, we found that P of 1 is 6, P of 0 is 3 and P of minus 1 is 2. This is how you have got to find out the values of the polynomials at different values of x. In relation to this, we are going to now learn what is 0 of a polynomial. Now consider the example P of x is equal to x minus 5. Can you think of a value of x which will make P of x equal to 0? What value when substituted for x? That is, if you replace x by a number, which number will make P of x equal to 0? Obviously, if x is going to be equal to 5, then 5 minus 5 will give you P of x equal to 0. So, when x is equal to 5, what is P of 5? P of 5 is nothing but 5 minus 5, which is equal to 0. So, P of 5 is 0. So, the value of x which is equal to 5, which made the polynomial's value equal to 0, is called as the 0 of a polynomial. So, x is equal to 5 when substituted, or when x is equal to 5 is put into the expression for P of x, then you got 5 minus 5 equal to 0, which means P of 5 is equal to 0. So, this value 5 is called as the 0 of the polynomial. So, this implies x is equal to 5 is the 0 of P of x. So, what is the 0 of a polynomial? That value of the variable which makes the value of the polynomial equal to 0 is called as the 0 of a polynomial. Let us see a few more examples. Suppose you take P of x is equal to 5x minus 1. Now we are supposed to find out what value of x is going to make P of x is equal to 0. In order to find that, let us make P of x equal to 0 first. So let P of x be equal to 0. Now what does this imply? What do we know about P of x? It is nothing but 5x minus 1. So this implies 5x minus 1 is equal to 0. This implies 5x is equal to 1 or x is equal to 1 by 5. So, if P of x is going to be equal to 0, then x is going to be equal to 1 by 5, which means 1 by 5 is the 0 of the polynomial P of x, because let us see what happens when x is equal to 1 by 5 is put into the polynomial. So, what is P of 1 by 5? P of 1 by 5 is nothing but 5 multiplied by 1 by 5 minus 1. Now, what happens? The 5 and the 5 will get cancelled, leaving you with a 1 there. So, you get 1 minus 1, which is equal to 0. So, you get P of 1 by 5 equal to 0. Therefore, when x is equal to 1 by 5, then P of x is going to become 0. Therefore, x is equal to 1 by 5 is called a 0 of the polynomial. So, x is equal to 1 by 5 is 0 of P of x. So, what did we understand? That value of x which will make the polynomial equal to 0 is called as the 0 of the polynomial. Let us consider f of x is equal to 8x minus 4. Now we are supposed to find the 0 of the polynomial. So to find the 0, what will you do? Put f of x equal to 0. So what happens when f of x equal to 0? 8x minus 4 is going to become 0. This implies 8x is equal to 4. Therefore, x is equal to 4 by 8, which simplifies to 1 by 2. Therefore, x is equal to 1 by 2. And what do you call x is equal to 1 by 2 as? It is nothing but the 0 of the polynomial f of x is equal to 8x minus 4. So, 1 by 2 is the 0 of f of x is equal to 8x minus 4. So, this is the procedure to find out the 0 of a linear polynomial. So far we have seen examples of linear polynomials and we have found out the zeros of linear polynomials. So this is the way to find out the 0 of a polynomial. Next we are going to learn about the 0 of a 0 polynomial and the constant polynomial. Now suppose f of x is equal to 11. This is a constant. So f of x is always going to be equal to 11, which is going to tell you that f of x is a constant polynomial. Now, is there any value of x which can make this value equal to 0? No, no value of x can make a constant equal to 0. Therefore, a constant polynomial is never going to have a 0. So, therefore, a constant polynomial has no 0. Now, next we are going to learn about the 0 of a 0 polynomial. Suppose f of x is equal to 0. This is a 0 polynomial. So, whatever be the value of x, f of x is always going to be equal to 0 since this is a 0 polynomial, which means that any number or any real number that x can take will always make f of x equal to 0. So, f of x is equal to 0 implies for whatever values of x you take, the value of f of x is always going to be equal to 0. Therefore, the 0 polynomial has all real numbers as its 0. So, all real numbers are zeros of a 0 polynomial. So, we saw that a constant polynomial will have no 0 and all real numbers will be zeros of a 0 polynomial. Let us now see some more examples of zeros of a polynomial. Suppose you have f of x is equal to x square minus 2x and you are supposed to find the value of f of 0. Now what is f of 0? It is nothing but 0 square minus 2 into 0, which is equal to 0 minus 0 and that's equal to 0. So f of 0 is 0. So when you put x is equal to 0, the value of the polynomial is becoming 0. Therefore 0 is the 0 of the polynomial f of x. So this implies x is equal to 0 is a 0 of the polynomial f of x. Now consider the case where f of x is going to be 2x square minus 3. Now let us find out f of 0. What is f of 0? 2 into 0 square minus 3, which is nothing but 0 minus 3, which is equal to minus 3. So f of 0 is equal to minus 3. This implies x is equal to 0 is not a 0 of the polynomial. So we can generalize what we have learnt now. In the case of f of x is equal to x square minus 2x, x is equal to 0 is a 0. Whereas if you take f of x is equal to 2x square minus 3, in this case x is equal to 0 is not going to be the 0 of this polynomial, because when you substituted x is equal to 0 here, you got a value which is equal to minus 3, which is not equal to 0. Now these two statements imply that x is equal to 0 need not always necessarily be a 0 of any polynomial. In this case, 0 happened to be a 0 of the polynomial. Whereas in this case, if you see, x is equal to 0 is not a 0 of the polynomial. So this is very, very important, a concept to be used when you do problems of zeros of a polynomial. So let's do the next problem. Verify whether the following are zeros of the polynomial indicated against them. So we have been given the first polynomial, which is p of x is equal to 5x minus pi. And we are supposed to verify if x is equal to 4 by 5 is a 0 of the polynomial p of x. Let us now find p of 4 by 5 and verify if p of 4 by 5 is 0. Because if at x is equal to 4 by 5, the polynomial p of x is going to be equal to 0, then you will say that x is equal to 4 by 5 is a 0 of the polynomial. So what is p of 4 by 5? In place of x, you are supposed to substitute the value 4 by 5. So 5 into 4 by 5 minus pi. So you can see that the 5 and the 5 will get cancelled, leaving you with 4 minus 5. So therefore, p of 4 by 5 is equal to 4 minus pi, and this is not equal to 0. Therefore, x is equal to 4 by 5 is not a 0 of this polynomial. Now let us do the next problem. So here the polynomial p of x is Lx plus m, and you are supposed to verify if x is equal to minus m by L is a 0. So in order to find out if x is equal to minus m by L is a 0, we are supposed to find p of minus m by L, which is nothing but L multiplied by, in place of x we are supposed to substitute minus m by L plus m, and this is going to be equal to the L and the L will get cancelled, leaving you with minus m plus m. And what is minus m plus m? It is nothing but 0. So therefore we have p of minus m by L is equal to 0, which implies x is equal to minus m by L is a 0 of p of x. Now let us do the next problem, where f of x has been given as 3x square minus 1, and we are supposed to check if x is equal to 1 by root 3 and x is equal to 2 by root 3 are zeros of the polynomial f of x. So let us first consider x is equal to 1 by root 3, and we are supposed to check if x is equal to 1 by root 3 is a 0 of this polynomial. Now what is f of 1 by root 3? It is nothing but 3 multiplied by 1 by root 3 the whole square minus 1, and this is going to be 3 multiplied by 1 by root 3 the whole square minus 1, and this is equal to 3 multiplied by 1 by, what is root 3 the whole square? It is nothing but root 3 into root 3, which is nothing but root 9, which is 3. So it is 3 into 1 by 3 minus 1, and that is going to give you 1 minus 1, which is 0. So root 3 the whole square is 3. So you have got f of 1 by root 3 equal to 0. And what does this imply? This implies that x is equal to 1 by root 3 is a 0 of the polynomial. It's a 0 of f of x. Now let us find out the value of f of 2 by root 3 and check if that's going to be a 0 of f of x. So now let us find out f of 2 by root 3. What is f of 2 by root 3? It is nothing but 3 multiplied by 2 by root 3 the whole square minus 1, and that's going to be 3 multiplied by 4 by 3 minus 1, because 2 by root 3 the whole square is nothing but 2 square divided by root 3 the whole square. 2 square is nothing but 4 divided by root 3 the whole square we just saw is 3. Therefore 2 by root 3 the whole square is nothing but 4 by 3. Now what happens? The 3 and the 3 will get cancelled and you'll be left with 4 minus 1. So therefore f of 2 by root 3 is 4 minus 1, or that is equal to 3. Therefore f of 2 by root 3 is not equal to 0, which implies x is equal to 2 by root 3 is not a 0 of f of x. On to the next problem, we are supposed to find the 0 of the polynomial in each of the following cases. So the first problem is f of x is equal to ax plus b, and we are supposed to find the 0 of the polynomial f of x. In order to find 0, what should we do? We have to make f of x equal to 0. In order to find the 0 of f of x, make f of x equal to 0. So what is the 0 of f of x? It is that value of x which will make the polynomial f of x equal to 0. Therefore, we have to equate f of x to 0 and find out the corresponding value of x. Now, what do we know about f of x? It is nothing but ax plus b. So, ax plus b is equal to 0. This implies ax is equal to minus b, and that implies x is equal to minus b by a. Therefore, x is equal to minus b by a is the 0 of f of x. Now, what kind of a polynomial is f of x? Whether it is linear, cubic or quadratic, you can see that the power to which x is raised is 1. Therefore, it is a linear polynomial. And how many zeros are there for a linear polynomial? You can see that x is equal to minus b by a is the one and only 0 of the polynomial f of x. Therefore, all linear polynomials will have one and only one 0. So, all linear polynomials have one and only one 0. Now, this is a very important point to be noted. Now, let us do one more problem in finding out the 0 of a linear polynomial. F of x is equal to 3x minus root 2. So, similarly, as in this problem, in order to find the 0 of f of x, you will make f of x to 0. So, let f of x be equal to 0. Therefore, 3x minus root 2 will be equal to 0, which implies 3x is equal to root 2, or x is equal to root 2 divided by 3. Therefore, the 0 of f of x is x is equal to root 2 divided by